Yo, what's going on, Breigh? How you feeling today?
What up, Solomon? I've been missing talking to you, man. I'm doing good in yourself.
Hey, same here. I missed you too. It's okay. We can say that. We missed each other.
Black people,
White
man.
ain't gonna come in and throw hands with you or nothing. You good. But nah, it's been a lot going on, and it's something I wanted to run directly to you because it's been on my brain, and I ain't been able to
Mm,
yell and
mm,
fuss and let
mm.
my clips off.
You
Yo,
always surprise me.
so beat this. There's a person who will remain nameless who's been making a lot of noise because one of the things that he's been saying is that men and women, but in particular women, have like unrealistic expectations of what they want from the other person. And I can go into what my thoughts are on it, but I would love to hear
Ooh-wee.
what you think of this. I'd love, chivalry isn't dead. I'd love to hear that.
I'm weak. Oh, now it's
Uh,
you first. Ladies first.
ah!
Okay, expectations. I will say guilty as charged from
Okay.
previous men I dated. I wanted them to be perfect. I wanted nothing to be wrong with them. And I wanted them to have their ish together while I had mine in shambles. I will admit that. I think now, as a single woman and coming into myself, I think it's important to have conversations with whom you're dating and also be honest, like, as far as you're dating, are you looking for something casual, long term? So that's already the set for me. But if we're talking about long term, I think we got to have those conversations. For me, what's your living situation? What's your credit score? Do you have addiction in your family? How do you cope? I'm just interested in that. Like for me, I can answer. I have been living with my parents since COVID. So for me, if I'm looking at another guy and saying, you got to have this, that, it's like, well, how dare I say that? And I don't even have my own place. That's realistic. Unrealistic is saying you got to be all these things, but for myself, oh, I don't have to worry about what I am. Like, that's just me. You accept all of me and who I am, but it's like, that's not fair because you're not accepting the other person of all of who they are. So I think if we're going to have expectations, we got to be really honest about our own ish and about what we got going on.
So I'm gonna take the lane you did, and I'm gonna talk about self before I talk
Okay.
about others.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I can admit I've definitely probably had issues with unrealistic expectations when I was younger.
Give me an example
So
for a
I'll say
woman.
this: I saw a person on Twitter back when I was on there. It feels like age just got, but
Crying.
one of the things they said was they was like women want, or they was like brothers want an experienced virgin, and I was like,
Ooh.
hit, right? Hit, you know what
Y'all
I'm saying?
do though. Y'all do. Two bodies make you a hoe automatically.
Okay, see, real
No,
dudes know.
I'm
Real
telling you
dudes
what
know.
I've heard on Twitter. By the
Yes,
way,
I'm
I'm
about
not
to say.
saying that's me at
I'm about to
all
say
because
on
I would
Twitter.
definitely be like the top notch one if
Nah,
that
nah,
was
nah.
the
I'm about to
case.
say because real dudes, we not even really asking your body count at a certain age. Real dudes are just like, you good? You ain't got nothing. You got nothing. You got anything I need to know, right?
True. That's
That's
real.
all.
That's an honest question too though.
Yeah, that's all I ask. You ain't got nothing I
That's
need to know
real.
about, do you? And if you do, let me know so I can make that decision. But
Yeah.
I was in that category of like, yo, I want a experienced virgin. You know what I'm saying? But I want her to, I want her to be, chaste but busted
Mm.
open, and that ain't realistic. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You got to deal with the fact that either nobody gonna know her and she may be reserved, and it's gradients,
Mm-hmm.
or everybody know her and she ain't reserved, but she's
That is
yours.
a
So you got to decide which
fact.
one you want. But I've had unrealistic expectations with women, but I also think, and I blame social media, but I also blame the times. I definitely think women feel tremendous pressure to
Absolutely.
be things that are not realistic, to be housewives, to
Mm-hmm.
be models, sex
Mm-hmm.
kittens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fair before I go into my
Yeah.
slant.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cause I was feeling like when you say that, I also think people see this perception online and think that what they once didn't want, now all of a sudden they want it because they saw someone else with it. And it's like, you gotta be honest. Like they talk about the whole Birkin bag issue. Ma, if you ain't even got that money for the bag to put in the bag, why are you even having that conversation?
And see, to piggyback off being honest, let me keep it real. You have to, as men, I'm gonna say men because I'm gonna talk about
Yeah.
men before I slander later on.
Girl.
I'm gonna slander later on, but I'm gonna be real. As a man, you got to be real
Yo.
about what you want and what you can handle.
Ooh.
That's the
Talk. Yeah.
expectation part.
Yeah.
Like you be
Yeah.
like,
Run that
okay,
back. Run that back. Run that back. Run it back. Run it back.
so, so when we talk about expectations, you got to be real about what you want and what you can handle. And sometimes that's the
Handle.
disconnect. Like you expect this type of thing, but if you got it, you couldn't handle it in more than one way.
Exactly.
It's like, man, it's brothers I know. It's like, yeah, man, I want a chick that look like Drea. You don't work out though, bro. Like you don't work out.
Exactly.
The 3% that she
Exactly.
want, they different than you in different ways. They have certain
Right.
advantages you ain't got, bro. You've never been
Right.
6 feet in your life. You don't have a jaw
Right.
structure that look like, you know what I'm saying? You
Or this
can't
whole like,
expect.
I want somebody that's of light and taking care of themselves and da da da, but your hygiene is trash. So why do they have to smell your breath and your body odor? Is that fair to them?
And I'm gonna say something.
For love?
I didn't come
Come
up
on,
with
bro.
this. That's real, and I didn't come up with this. A lot of dudes, I'm gonna be real. I didn't religiously start cutting my nails until probably for real experience
Oh,
my
that's
fiance.
such a turn on for me. Men, when you take care of your nails and your feet. Woo!
That's a new thing though. I didn't really
Oh,
invest in that
yeah.
at a younger age.
It's not gay, by the way. I
No, it's
hate
not.
that.
It's not.
I hate that.
But
It's
I
taking
say
care of
that just to
yourself.
say they always tell us at work, inspect what you expect, and it's the
Absolutely.
same thing. A lot of dudes have expectations of women, but you're not giving them what they would need for
Right.
that environment to flounder. Like I had a conversation with my fiance, and she just kept it real with me. She was like, I gave you this type of output because you made me feel this type of way. And I don't feel this type of way, so I don't
Ooh.
give you this type of energy. And I had to go, okay, okay. So you need this type of energy to give me
She
more of what
gave
I
me
need.
energy. Right.
So for me to get these expectations out of you, which I feel like are realistic, I have to give
Right.
you this type of output. And it's the same with with a
Mm,
lot of relationships.
yeah.
And so I'm not slandering right now, but I'm gonna just say men have unrealistic expectations sometimes.
So do women. We do. I just thought of randomly. I used to see this meme that was like, if his hands don't have dirt on it and dirt in his nails, he's not a working man. No, he has bad hygiene. There's working men who take care of their hands and wash them, and there's working men who also clean their nails. That's
Facts.
nasty. Would you want a man to touch you intimately with them hands?
And see,
Absolutely not.
that's a combo that has to be had with young boys. Cause like I said, I got homies who work in plumbing and things with their hands, but
True.
they have wives and they have girlfriends. Their hands ain't finna be all crazy because they know what time it ain't gonna be if their hands are not clean. You know what I'm saying? So, I think
True. And I understand that. Even a trash man, I still want him to care about his nails.
well, see, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Now I'm about to go a little bit into the
Uh-oh.
slant.
Uh-oh. Was that unrealistic
No,
expectation?
no, it was very realistic. It was very
No, go
realistic.
ahead.
I'm gonna address the professions trap that we got in. Like, okay, B Simone got a lot of hate when she said she couldn't date a cat with a 9 to 5. I ain't even
Yeah. I
part of
actually
the
understood what
problem
she was
with
trying to
that.
say.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
I think it's
see,
how she delivered it.
it's how she delivered it. But I also think the problem with that statement is we have gotten to the point where we forget that like half of the race doesn't make a certain income, but we want the person
Yes.
we date to have a fictional life. He's six
Yes.
three.
Yeah, and also with that statement she made, it wasn't entrepreneurship. It was the traits of what it looks like on the outside of an entrepreneur. I want him to get on the plane with me. I want him to work with me till 3 a.m. in the morning. Not all entrepreneurs do that.
And here's my thing
It
about
just
that.
it was I get what you're saying. Yeah.
No, no, and I think the main thing I'm just saying is we getting so snobby to where we can't date
Oh
people in
my
certain professions,
goodness.
and it's
Right.
like you think your mom when she had you and
Right.
gave you that life, she wasn't over here. She's not a limo driver. You don't get any
Yeah.
ass like
Yeah. I
or
saw somebody say that about how like back in the day, people wanted to come up together, as a couple, and from whatever they came from, they wanted to work, put that work in together. But now it's like they were saying how you have to come in independent already and then come together. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm so guilty of that because I'm like, no, I gotta have this, all that before I even get into like long-term partnership because I want to make sure I got it and don't have to depend on him, blah blah blah. So I will definitely admit that because I do think there were pros with back in the day as far as just like coming up together, and people still do that, but it just seems like overall the thing is like, nah.
So what you said was insightful. Let me add to that. Here's the two
Yeah.
problems, and this is the main one. If I get it without you, what do I need you for? If
And
a,
that's
and I'm gonna just be real, we're in a patriarchal society. If you are a man who makes
mm,
a certain amount of money and lives a certain
mm-hmm.
type of lifestyle, and you
Yeah.
know you can get any woman within a
Yep.
certain range, you
Yep.
only see this woman as a commodity in a lot of cases.
Absolutely.
So you
Yeah.
can't add anything of value to his life. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to build with somebody? But then
True.
it's the other problem.
You build with
Why does
someone.
everything have to be done so quickly? Who
True.
what
Overnight. Yeah.
when you look at like success stories, like you
Yeah.
see like older couples, they got their wealth in their 40s. They had kids when they
Mm-hmm.
had kids, and they had some years where they was down on their luck,
Yep.
but they grinded and pushed through. And then when they hit their 40s, they
Yeah.
could get their kids. Like my parents were financially, my dad was old as hell now. I'm just be real. But when he had me, he had maximized his, he was
I'm
old as hell
crying.
now.
Don't do it.
Hey, people who know me know my pop is,
Shout out to Pops.
shout
Yeah.
out to Pops. Please stay a little bit longer, Pops, please. But people who know my pop know my dad old as hell. But when my dad had me, he had maxed out as a teacher. Like he had gotten to the highest rung of what you could
Oh.
earn. So my
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle was middle class.
Yeah.
So my friends is like, yeah, oh y'all, man, y'all got both parents, but y'all be having this type of Christmas. You couldn't have probably had that, if
Mm.
if
Do you
they
think your
didn't wait
parents
till.
planned for that for
You said
you?
what?
You think your parents planned that for you?
For me to have that type of life.
For example, again, calling myself out, I think, oh, I got to save money in advance, even if I might want to start a family. Do you think like your dad was like, okay, I need to be at this before I even think about having my little Solomon?
I don't think
Okay.
that was even a thought at the time. And here's the thing: I don't knock women who like I want to have my money and stuff together. I get it because money was used as control.
I
Like
just don't want to live in poverty.
I get that, and I think that's a real thought.
I don't. That's also important too. When expectations, people's habits. I think that's important to pick up on. I know we all give our nice resume portfolio like a new job when we first meet each other and kikiing and boot up, but habits are very important. And also too, my last one before I forget it, because of my mind, long-term dating. When you do marry somebody, your debt becomes theirs. Just saying, do you really want that?
That is 100% real,
That's
and
important to me.
it is important. And that I mean that's a my
That's a
parents
big one
in,
for me.
in full transparency. That's what she always say before we had them combos. That's a real one. In full
Oh,
transparency.
I just love her fiance.
But no, to tie into that point though, here's what I think is here's what I think is the problem about how we approach things. I don't have
Mm,
anything wrong with saying I don't want to be poor and I don't want a man, you know, it's okay to want a man who's going to give you a certain type of lifestyle, but you
yeah.
don't look at where they are. You look at what habits
Mm,
indicate future success.
yeah. But
When
we look at but see that I agree with you. And but it's also like damn if you do, damn if you don't, because it's like we tell each other if whoever you're dating now, you need to see them as that now and not the potential. But
That's
if
true.
you truly do, if for example, if someone's saying like I got this dream, they don't have this dream happening now, but if you really do want to like hold them down, eventually the dream can't come true, but it's all a risk, honestly,
And see, I think
if
that's the
you're willing
thing
to do it.
people don't want to understand. It's risk on both sides. Like
Very absolutely.
I
It's
had this
risking everything
convo.
in life. It's risking everything. So it's also like either you're gonna do the risk or you're gonna play comfortable all day. That's how I see dating. Like with everything. Are we
That's
gonna be
real.
comfortable? Or are you gonna take a risk and take it as like even if it doesn't work out, it's a lesson. Or you had a beautiful time. Like everything doesn't have to be like, oh my God, this is a failure. Sometimes failures are lessons. Sometimes failures are like, you know what? This was a beautiful moment for me. Like everything doesn't have to be forever. Everything isn't forever.
In real life connection. One of the talks we mainly have is say, Bree, At the end of the day, this is us not
Yep.
being afraid. We just
Yeah.
doing it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I guess the thing I always like, me and my homie had this talk all the time. He'd be like, look, bro, what I need women to get is as much as you are that, I'm that too. People think I'm the
Oh.
shit too. Like
See,
it
when you
even
say that though, it sounds like dynamic duo. Like, wow, we could really just
I
pow.
don't, I'm just saying, like,
Wow.
we be telling, like, I know you a pick. I know you a high draft pick. You're valuable. I'm glad you're
Mm,
here.
I
You
love
gotta
that.
make it seem like I'm that too.
I love
And
that.
and what I bring to the situation, my potential of who I'm gonna be is gonna benefit everybody. I'm not saying take a risk on somebody who's not worth it, but I'm
Yeah.
saying I'm risking too.
Right.
How do I
And
know
you know
that
when someone's worth it. Yeah.
it's like,
You know
and
it.
on a real level, when men get money, their worst fear is getting divorced because they're gonna lose it. That's a risk.
Mm. Oh, that's my fear too. Absolutely.
That's your risk.
Okay. Side note.
Go
Side
ahead.
note. I didn't want to take it there. I didn't want to take it there, but I'm taking it there. Would you sign a prenup? Not knowing your person before of whatever accomplishment that you see for yourself.
I'm gonna be honest.
Mine is yes.
Me as a man, I would sign a prenup if I was with a woman that had money because as a man, me personally, I feel like I
Yeah.
can get anything that I can work for.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't want to keep their stuff or that. I would literally let them go on. First of all, I wouldn't want a divorce, obviously. But if that were to come to that, they can go with their stuff. I keep mine.
I agree.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I don't have an issue. Like I'm gonna be real. I don't have an issue with women marrying men with money. Like to
No,
you want to have a certain
you
lifestyle.
want
I
a
don't have an
certain
issue with it.
lifestyle.
What I have
But
an
bring
issue,
something to the table, though. Come on.
that's what my thing is. Like,
It's gotta be. Listen, I'm saying this with love, y'all. I promise you, I am.
just say it.
And I understand.
Just say it.
I understand looks. I understand that is a thing, and it is an upkeep to keep yourself looking good. But also know, just because you got the bomb Uchiwali
Oh
and the
my God,
looks
say it.
does not mean that you are just worthy of all these mansions and money. Like, no, it's got to be more than that. Like, that's just my opinion. Like, and honestly, as a woman, I'm more than that. Ooh,
And
they gonna get me for that,
they
but
are.
I'm
They
just
when you damn pick me. But
I'm not trying to no, it ain't no pick me energy and it's not judging anyone, because we all have our own lifestyles. I'm just saying as a woman, yes, get your lace fronts, get your, look good, all that. But you can bring more to the table than that. You're more than that. We are more than that as women, is what I'm saying.
I
And just
agree.
because you have that look is, and just to be like, well, I'm entitled to millions and $1 million because I'm a bad B, is like, no,
Well,
no, you're not.
because with that same logic, guess what? I can get somebody's auntie to pick me up right
Yeah.
now. Stop playing with me. Stop
Yeah.
playing. I can get
And that
somebody.
just pisses men off, and then they end up just being like, "Well, I'll just get somebody cheaper than you, or I'll just get somebody who don't even care
Younger
about that,
or somebody
younger."
younger.
Oh, we don't want to go there.
And see, this is
That's a thing.
I
That's
don't
real.
even want to. I'm not being slanderous. The thing I always tell people in general, I say, look, you can be a very beautiful woman. Man
Yes,
take
the
beauty
man too.
or convenience, and same with a man.
Ooh,
Will
say
I
that
take
again.
a beautiful woman or a woman who I know is not going to act entitled? I'm a definitely and
I think
I
they'll
say
take
that.
both.
Well, if you could have both, I
I
think I
say
meant.
they'll take both because they'll take the convenience to take care of home, but they'll have beauty on the side.
I'm not gonna lie. I the best of both worlds is that I feel like I have a beautiful person who
Absolutely.
does not make things tough for me. But I always tell her like, I know you're beautiful, da da da. But I was like, a rich dude gonna get tired of you because you're gonna be so. I'm independent, a boss,
Yeah.
a la, da, da, da. You gotta be a certain type of person to hear that and not feel like, all right.
Oh. What
So
does that make you feel as a man? Like, I get it. Like, what do you feel like? Because
I
that's
just
me.
feel
That's me too. But I've calmed down on that. But I really used to be like, dudes I dated, I was like, I'm going to remind you that I don't need you, but I do need you. But I'm just playing it off. But I don't need you because I'm independent.
You know how it makes me feel? That what you just said in the back of my head, I'd be like, but I wouldn't be here if you didn't need me. And
Oh,
you will never hear a man. This is what I'm gonna say. You'll
oh,
never hear a man. I am an independent man. I don't need a woman. You will never hear that. You hear him say, hey, I'm good on my own, but I'd be better if you was here though. Right? Now I'll take it. I'll say
Okay,
it's
I'll
some
tell you that.
I'll say this. It's some new age energy where dudes would be like, I just need my homies. That's a little new energy, but it's
No,
that.
they still need women. They just not gonna say that. They say it in their raps, but they disguise it in other things.
It's just a little weird, but
They need women.
they need one. But no, man, I think the hardest part for me sometimes, the hardest thing about this whole thing was if I didn't fit a certain threshold of where other men
Oh,
were, I always felt inferior. I was like, man, I don't
oh, I
make
can see that. Yeah,
75K. Well, first, you're not in a profession where you would have made that at that age. And
true.
you're very good in your profession. You just don't have a number or a status symbol.
Yeah.
And it's the same with women. It's a lot of great women who be like, I'm not a size 6. Or
Mm,
it's great women that's like, I don't turn up, I'm quiet.
yeah.
Or, and it's terrible. We making people feel like they're not worthy because they don't look like
Right.
Drea, they don't do
Right.
porn star stuff.
Right.
It's just weird.
Yeah, I see how more women, which is kind of beautiful to just be like, I'm showing my body off, but I also wonder, is that also feeling like you have to do it because everyone else is doing it? All the
No,
influencers and the Instagram girls are doing it. So I have to do it because that's what men pay attention to. I mean, that was one of Jasmine Sullivan's songs of just like, y'all don't want me when I'm this reserved woman and fully clothed and on my own ish, but y'all do pay attention to me when I act like I need you, if that makes sense.
no, I agree. And see, I'm not gonna flex. I ain't delved all the way into it. But
Yeah.
that's a
It
combo
was
for
just
another time.
perspective she was giving. Yeah.
No, but I think to tie into that, I get where women come from as far as they see how I'm looking at Drea. They see how I'm looking at
Hmm.
April Jones. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
But anyway, uh, they see how I'm just saying I had a moment because Dr. Dre got caught with her, but I'm gonna leave it alone. So yeah, that was on. All right, we're gonna combo
Okay.
on this.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah.
no, so I get that, and you feel immense pressure. You're in a city like, and if you're in a city like Atlanta or Houston or something, you see all these beautiful women,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right.
Yep.
But
Very true.
so I get where women feel, and but I also get. I have to say it from the brother side. I think it's just brothers don't get allowed to say often. Look, most people you meet, my love, are not gonna be this guy you want, but I can still be good for you. But you so caught up in what your friend got and how it looks to your
Mm,
friend,
yeah.
and it's dudes too. It's like you got a
But
good
see,
girl.
also with that too, it's also there's some who also try to be like, well, this is all you're gonna get, so you got to deal with it. It's like, no, 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 no. I can still have standards, sir.
And
I don't
see,
have to be
I
with
think
you.
that's important too. See, now this is the
But you make a point.
It's
Yeah.
that's the lame part of what a lot of dudes do. I had to catch myself one time. This girl on Twitter, she was like, "Imagine how lame it is for a girl." She was like, "Imagine how lame you got to be for a girl to be single, and you be like, you could have been with me. She would rather be single than be with you." And I was like,
Absolutely. If anything, she would have been like, "Woo, I dodged a bullet. Ooh, I dodged a
you know,
bullet."
I think the thing as a man is admitting that women know we got egos and they sensitive or
Oh,
whatever,
it's
but
so exhausting.
it's just it's hard to admit it. But I think
Admit it, please. That's the
we
first
I mean,
step.
I live in that space now. I admit that I
I'm
be
saying for
sensitive.
most men, admit it. Admit it. You do the money things for other men. Admit it. You dress for other men. Admit it. You show off women for other men. Admit it. Please free yourself.
All right, PSA, PSA.
Admit it.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I personally don't do it for women. I do it for a worse reason. I think to prove
Mm,
worth to the situation. And
that's honest.
I had to have a combo with myself the other day. I was like, if she never sees the worth in what you do, is it still worthy? Are you
Yeah.
still worthy? And I was like,
Yeah.
don't do anything for anybody to make them feel like you're worthy.
Absolutely. That
Do
was
it
me.
because it's a personal thing for you, because you're gonna be
Absolutely.
disappointed. And I used to feel like, man, I'm doing all these things
Yep.
to show her that I'm not a bum dude. Because a lot
Yep.
of black dudes feel that way. I gotta show you I'm not a bum.
Well, women feel like that too with their upkeep. That's a lie. And honestly, as a woman, I don't want people commenting on my body and telling me what I need to do with myself. Like, I want to dress myself because I feel good about myself. But I think for most women, when men tell women what they need to do to themselves, it can trigger them.
I could see that.
It can really trigger them because then it's like, oh, not only industry, not only tabloids, not only magazines telling us what we need to look like. My own man sitting right next to me telling me what I need to look like instead of just appreciating what I look like now.
Now, when you said that, that brought me into a murky territory. I'm not gonna front. So
Now,
we,
listen. Oh, I feel like I feel like something gonna come up. I
so
feel like you gonna mention like you know how like when you first dating somebody you like bad like you really like taking into it and all of a sudden the bonnets come every day and you like wait a minute I feel like you
excuse me, shoulders got a little tense. No,
that
no.
whole saying you need to act like you got or that whole saying about like you need to maintain yourself how you got them. It's
I'm gonna
like
I'm
well
gonna
my
just
head
say
ain't done
this.
today.
I'm gonna just say this. I understand people can't always be who they were. Like I like man, I've gained weight since
Yeah.
when she met me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
I don't.
wait, you better walk a real thin line, my
Hey,
G.
I'm not saying nothing about her. I'm smarter than that.
I'm
Now. I ain't
telling
dumb.
you.
I ain't dumb now. But
I'm
no, and
with
that's
you.
not to say anything about her or nothing. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying ultimately is, I get that people aren't gonna look like how they're supposed to.
Mhm.
But when you were talking about that dude who was like, at the bare minimum, I just want someone who takes care of
Yeah.
themselves. What I mean by that is
Yeah.
simply take pride in looking your best. Your
Exactly.
best.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Your
I didn't see
best.
that at first because I was telling you before the show like I used to date a guy that would be like, oh my girl got to keep herself up. She got to be better with this, and I literally wanted to tell him dude, I am depressed. Like, but I didn't. It was very obvious. I'm sure he knew that. But yeah, when I look back as I'm on my own self-healing journey, it's like I don't think he was necessarily purposely trying to be like trying to like make me feel like unworthy. I sincerely think he was just saying like take care of yourself.
And see, I'll piggyback off that because in my last situation, I didn't realize this person may have been dealing with stuff in that vein. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you were. If you listen
Yeah.
to Jesus, I'm not shouting. But anyway,
Yeah.
I used to want certain things of her. And as I'm getting older now, I'm like, okay, my personal standards for myself have to be for
Yeah.
myself. I can't
Yeah.
make, because she's never going to fit the standard of perfection I even have, because I'm vain. So I got
Yeah.
certain
That's
perfection
honest.
things, you know what I'm saying? And I don't
Are
be
you
perfect.
vain because you have certain standards?
I'm vain because every time I walk by a mirror, I look in it.
Oh.
Like it don't matter where I'm
Got
at. We
it.
could be
Got
walking
it.
along, so I'm like mirror.
Oh, okay.
But I say that just to say I've had to realize that in my own situation. Like I can't force her to have my same level of expectations. I can only suggest what I would like to see in
Mhm.
her, and she can
Mhm.
suggest what she would like to see in me, and then I try to meet her
Absolutely.
somewhere down that road.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
But I mean, but that's why I say my only big thing is just I just want us to, you're allowed to have as many expectations as you want, as long as you're allowed, as long as you're willing to work and do the
Yeah.
things that it takes to get that. If you want this type of guy, baby girl, no problem. Do what it takes to get that. If you want this type of girl, do what it takes to get that. But if you're not doing the things to get that, and you're not
Yeah.
really that person, you're not gonna have it, and you're really delusional.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah. There
I
is a
shouldn't.
lot of
I'm not
delusion.
gonna have what an athlete has. It's just not the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. That's very honest and true. Cause I also see like people will repost and be like, this is kind of off the tangent, but like I'll see people repost these big old mansions or these athlete stories, and it's like that's great for them. And that's not I'm not saying that you can't have that. You can, but also don't get caught up in fantasy. That's the whole thing a lot of people don't want to talk about, living in fantasy in love and in life. It's a real thing. And you can get caught up in living in fantasy on the internet because you see somebody else doing something. You're like, well, since they did it, I could do it too. Absolutely, you can do it. But you also got to have the habits that they're having too.
And see, this is the thing. I got to read this book, The Algebra of Happiness, Scott Galloway. And one of the things he really made me think, he was like, you know, when you talk to very successful people, like in business school and stuff, they're like, I want to be in the top 1 to 10%. He's like,
You know
so,
what you have to do for that?
and that's what he said. So
You
you
know what
willing to work
sacrifice come with that?
the 60 to 80 hours, and the fact that out of 300 million people
Jeez.
in the United States, you're in the 1 to
Yep.
10%.
That's where the talking and action come play to play.
And but then that's also when I realized too, you can have a very successful life and not be in the 1%,
Yes. Thank
because
you.
it just may not be your destiny.
Yes.
Like there, I look at some of my
Yes.
favorite writers. I look at like Kies Lamont and Charles Blow, all these people, right? And in my
Mhm.
mind, I'm like, man, they Pulitzer winners. They not winning no Pulitzer,
Right.
but they still the top at the top of their craft, and they making money off of it.
Yeah.
But
We all
everybody's
don't
like,
need to be Beyonce. It's okay.
there can only be one.
Right.
There's not gonna be how
It's
many
not.
Drakes are there?
It's
How
only
many
one.
Kanye's are there? How
One.
many?
That's why I laugh when someone's like, "Who's the next Drake? Who's the next Kanye?" It's like it won't be another one,
It'll be somebody in their
and
own
that's
way,
okay.
and that's okay. But but this is the thing: you can be very good in what you do and impact people around you. But
Yeah, I
we've
care
been
about
tricked.
that.
It's like a video that says, "Man, when did an average life become a bad thing?"
Wow.
It's a YouTube video. It was like, when did the average life become a bad thing?
Yeah,
And
because everyone wants this like over the top lifestyle, and it's like, can't you just be happy with a one bedroom and a meal on the stove and heat in the house? Like, can we just be grateful for that?
when you realize that, like somebody said, when you realize you got running waters and you're doing better than half the world, we've literally tricked ourselves into being like, I had to step back, like, dang, bro, I ain't famous yet. I was getting mad. I was like, bro, I ain't famous yet. And it hit me. I was like, people look up to you. People consider
Mm,
you inspirations. You eat every day. You're in peak health. You got your memory. You ain't been afflicted by nothing major. I was like, stop. You sound really weird right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
You letting and then this is the part that's crazy. You're letting a communication app or a social media app that
Mm.
only categorizes the most popular, not truthful statements, the
And
most
people
popular
only
statement.
show, yep, only show highlight. Yeah.
Like
It's fascinating how these apps can really affect your mind and your, your self-esteem. It's just really fascinating.
it is, and I think the thing, I took some time away because I realized I was getting too engaged in it, and I realized I was creating issues in my mind. I was like, man, so and so
That's
sucks.
honest.
Oh
That's
God,
very
when I see
honest.
them, I want to fight them, and I'm like, you don't even know this person. I was thinking, I was
Yeah,
for real. I was
that's
like, man,
honest.
somebody said something slick about me. I felt like that was towards me, and if they listening,
Mm.
but
He said, I
but
still got one for you.
but nah, it's and then that's when I started realizing it's weird. People like me more when I say less because social media just allows you just to say things.
Yeah,
It could be a terrible take, but as long as
yeah,
people like the take, it spreads.
yeah.
And you
I
could say
feel,
something very truthful and it don't get a lot of traffic.
yep,
And you'll be like, okay, so if I lie, just
yeah.
go further.
Yeah,
It's like
I
pandering.
have a wild theory. It's like together, it goes with it, but it don't. So you know how people are always like, "Oh, I wish we could have good news. Why doesn't good news exist?" Because y'all don't want it. Y'all
That's
complain about negative news, but that's what y'all feed into. That's what y'all entertain. That's what y'all watch all the time on your own.
yep,
On your
yep.
own choice. You guys watch it, you listen to it, you pay for it. Y'all don't want good news. They've tried to have good news, and when they have it, guess what? No one supports it. So stop saying y'all want good news because you give into the negativity. Just for
And
example, I feel like more people like me when I was living in destruction and self-sabotaging myself and in
mm,
addiction compared to me trying to get my life together. I sincerely feel that way. I
you
really
know,
do. And that's just what it is.
it's the truth though, because I've found myself having to like check myself. I'm like, I was about to share something like some gossip stuff, because men gossip. Let's just keep it real.
Thank you for saying that.
Men gossip. We do,
A lot of truth this episode. Thank you for
and
saying that.
a lot of street dudes gonna act like they don't. Men gossip.
Oh, them
Men
be the
gossip.
ones.
They be the man. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, but
that
anyway,
whole y'all be talking all that rat talk. That's another episode. But woo,
that
child,
is.
them be the
But
ones.
with
They
that
be a
being
little
said,
taught.
that is. But I started catching myself. I was like, I'm really about to send a gossip article to my dog and talk about that. I was like,
Yeah.
the hell?
Yep. I have to catch myself that too. I even, find myself on a popular tabloid place and I'm like, why am I on here? It's you'll get caught up in that if you're not mindful of it.
And
Because it's just like what the way of the world is now. But it's like I stop myself and I'm like, this shit has nothing to do with me. Two, this ain't my business. And three, why does my commentary matter?
it don't.
The person probably already got a million people telling them already. That's their business.
And that's when I realized we've really created a culture that puts a premium on us sharing opinions on stuff that has no outcome
No.
to us.
But yet, if we looked at our own lives, would we have the time to make those opinions?
And then
Yeah.
this is what's wild. This is what's wild. we have the same five arguments. Like you said, we have the same five arguments.
Ah,
Gender
which one?
wars, y'all don't love us.
Oh my god.
Africans and blacks. Uh,
Oh,
who makes more money and who should do what?
who's paying half on the rent? Don't forget that one.
That's it. Oh God. And so we had these same arguments. And then I just be sitting here in the back like long hair. What's the solution? The solution is
I'm
knowledge of self and
crying.
understanding the fuck, man. Politically
I'm
too.
solution based though too. Absolutely. And it really annoys people sometimes
Aries
because
are.
I'm like this. I'm like, okay, so what's the solution? And they're like, no, but I gotta continue to play my violin and play my violin. Even though I used to be that violin. I was big on like, please feel sorry for me. I'm the victim. And now I live in solution based. It's like, okay, I'm sorry that happened to you. What is the solution that we can move forward though?
And see that last one you said, another truthful moment. I'm gonna just keep it real. It the hardest thing for me to admit was that I was being a victim, and
Oh,
a
that's
lot of men, a
that
lot of
gotta be our
men.
next episode.
That's real, and I'm gonna leave it there. A lot of men play victim, or allow themselves to stay in a
Hmm.
victim mindset,
Yes,
and a
because
lot of
we are some of some people are victims of things, but there's also a victim mindset of whether you want to stay there
I,
or go
I'm
from there.
I'm gonna say it like this dude said: you can be victimized and not be a victim. That
Mm,
doesn't mean things can't happen to you that you were a
absolutely.
victim to, but your decision, and I hate using that word because like white conservatives kill victim, you victimhood in America. I hate doing it, but I was being a victim and I looked at some of my situations and I was like, you were living in a state of what she does determine what I do. And I was like, that's the opposite of how anybody, but especially a man should operate. You operate in I do an action and I respond to that action. If this person don't want to be with you, you say thank you, go your way. You
Yeah.
don't say woe is me because that ain't what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think both. I think all people are, guilty of that, of just like, woe is me, and just thinking like, well, what did I do wrong? Why didn't this work out? Sometimes things just have their time when they expire when they expire. And I think I had a therapist who, shout out to her, all ever since she said that, kept it in mind. When you have endings or whatever, like look at it from a place of like, thank you for this time, instead of like, I hate you, it's over. Like, I hope you get the worst. I hope karma comes to get you. It's like, no. Thank you
Thank
for
them
the
for the lesson you
time.
got from it. And like I said, the thing that's gotten me lately is the insights that I'm getting and I don't post
Yeah.
about. Like
Yeah.
I was like, you were being a victim. I was like,
Mm.
that was one. Then it was like, you are sensitive, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's
We're like twins, I swear sometimes.
hey,
I'm super
Aries.
I've come into that too. Like I used to really hide from my sensitivity and really be like the Arthur meme, like mad when someone called me sensitive. But now I'm like, you know what? I actually am very sensitive.
Yep. And my old therapist, I probably need to reconnect with her one day, but I'm trying. But she's like, is it a bad thing for you to be sensitive?
Exactly. It's not a
And
bad thing.
and that's when I was like, it's not. It's
You don't have
and,
to walk eggshells with me because I'm sensitive, but you need to know that I'm sensitive.
and see what I realized is everybody's sensitive. It just come out in different ways. The uncaring is sensitivity. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
The aggressive, I'm gonna bust your head. Like
Oh, yeah, that is. That's a really good point. Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
it was like Jay was saying in that thing. He was like, oh, he was like this dude. He's like, oh, you want to bully me? He's like, because I see who you are, and you feel insecure because I see who you are. I was like, there it is, and I started
Ooh,
realizing
that's
like
good.
a lot of dudes really be sensitive because you don't, and when you don't give them a certain energy, they sensitive
Yeah,
because they feel like, oh, you don't see me how everyone else sees me.
right. And many of them have to mask that because they're probably already concerned that, oh, if you see me as sensitive, I'm soft, I'm weak, I'm not a man. And that's not true.
It's just wild how we forget that we came from women and half of us are women.
It's just wild that we don't see that we're just human beings and it's human nature. A lot of this stuff
Even
is
better.
human nature: jealousy, sensitivity, insecure, aggressive. All of that is all human nature, and it's up to us on whether we work on those character traits or not. But it's all of
Normalize it.
us. They always try to put a gender with something like jealousy is a female's trait. No, it's not.
Nah, it isn't.
Don't put that on females.
No, because like you said, brothers, brothers are jealous in different ways. Like And like I said, I've been seeing it in my own life, how I've treated people, how people treat me, and I'm like,
Mm,
dang, jealousy for some people just be saying everything to you, but you just feel this person does not mean anything they just said to you. They're
uh,
jealous that you didn't want to do things the way they did it. They're like, this person is
absolutely.
blessed and I'm suffering because they didn't get it how I got it. Like older men
That
would be
is
like,
jealousy. That's so true. Of like, well, I struggle more than them, so their story isn't valid. It's like their story is valid. They
older
still
people,
got their things, just not the same way you did.
older men do that the most. And I'm gonna call y'all out.
They do.
The 40-year-old
Older,
brothers,
older people, they do
them
that.
40 year
Well, y'all complaining, but I ain't had. Oh my goodness, I'd be like, please.
well, I'm gonna say older people there, but in particular,
Yeah.
that them early 40, mid 40s men, oh, y'all be so jealous because niggas didn't suffer how you suffered.
Right.
How the fuck would you want somebody to
Right.
suffer like
And
you?
and jealous because they want to get therapy and not keep that stuff on them any longer.
Like,
You can
dude,
go. You can go. It's
and,
never too late.
and it's just funny, man, because I look at the young dudes and I don't be jealous that I told him, I said, when I be seeing like little black kids, this is one thing. When I see little black kids expressing themselves and shit, I get happy. I
Mhm.
be like, this shit make me
Mhm.
happy. I wish I could have had it. I
Yeah.
don't get jealous. I be like, damn, the little kid in me wishes I had it. I don't get jealous.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see myself at 40 seeing like a 25-year-old getting money. I'm like, respect,
Yeah.
respect. Well, I wouldn't be over here.
Now, for me with jealousy, I definitely have met younger people and I was jealous of just like, wow, you really
You got
finding
your shit
yourself
together.
so
You got your
young.
shit together. Yeah.
Wow, that is like honest jealousy of just like, wow, you really got your ish together and I'm 31. Not to, play the number game, but it's just like, wow, good job for you. Y'all are out here. And I
But
feel like as generations go, the younger they seem to be more in tune with self. I don't know if that's just my theory, but
no, I
that
think you're
seems to be
right.
a
And
thing.
I think the freedom that they have is a different freedom. Like my
Absolutely.
mom was like, the Bible said that the generations that get, they'll get weaker but wiser. And
Mm,
I look at them, I say, man, the freedom that you
yeah.
could have, like that when we was coming up, you couldn't be different in any way.
Yeah.
If you were
Yeah.
special, if you were especially intellectually challenged, you was gonna get
Mhm.
talked about. If you
Mhm.
were soft, you was getting talked about.
Mhm.
If you was big, you was getting talked about. If
Stop
you was
it.
dark, you was
Gosh.
getting talked about. If you was a
Oh, shake
foreigner,
the
you was getting
table.
talked about.
Yep. Foreigner
Now
to
it just be
yep. Shake the
like,
table.
now it just be like, all right, I'm gonna dye my hair blonde, wear earring in two ears. I might
Am I
wear some tight pants, and I'm a thug. And people be like,
Yep.
respect,
And
bro.
I'm
I'll be like,
still gonna get women. Yep.
then I'm still gonna get women. I'm like, yo, y'all got it
That's a
so
different
good.
time. When I seen street dudes start dressing like that, I was like, wow, it's really a different time. It's really a different time.
We're in different, and that's what I say. Like, I could never be jealous of a. That's why I think men got to have real conversations and be able to say, "Look, bro, I was jealous of you, bro," or
Yeah.
I'm happy for
Many
you, but
won't admit that though.
nah, they won't, cause
Many don't admit that though. They won't.
they ain't finna admit that.
I definitely can admit that I have been jealous of friends as far as just like, wow, they have their stuff together. Wow, they're really living their lives. But I don't show it as like, I'm jealous, so I'm gonna make you feel like crap because you have accomplishments and stuff. No, I still support them and still happy for them. But the truth is also that I think both two things can exist. I can support you genuinely, but also be jealous that wow, you really got your life together, and it makes me look at my own self, which is a positive to make me look inner and say like, not compare, but to make just look at inner in myself and say like, hey, you could do that too if you just work on yourself. But
But
there definitely has been jealousy where I'm like, wow, my friends have their dish going, they got the family, they're not alone, blah blah blah. But you got to be mindful of that too, because you can get caught up on comparing, you can get caught up on hating. You don't want to
exactly,
hate on your friends, that's not cool.
and see,
So
this is
yeah, it's
my
mindfulness.
thing on it, and I guess I'll start wrapping it up.
Oh
What
right, from the
what I've
beginning what
learned.
we talking about.
No, you good, you good. The big thing I'm saying, because this was just needed, but
Yeah.
I really genuinely feel like I've gotten better about not being jealous of people's situations, because when you talk to them, they are going through the exact same thing you going
Mm,
through, but they just don't look like they're going through what some people just carry the weight better. Like I got
That's
friends that are
true.
married, and I tell them about some stuff I had. They be like, "I got the exact same issue, but you would never know it."
Mm.
And I'd be like, "Dang."
And
And
even if they don't have that, it's like I don't have to be jealous of them, you know? It just I
exactly,
think the jealousy comes from again cuz it makes me have to look at self.
exactly,
It makes me
and
have to check my own insecurities, my own stuff. That's where the jealousy comes from. It's not like I'm hating on you, you don't deserve that. Cause you got people like that too, and it's really nasty. That's called projecting your stuff on them, or they're not worthy of that, or why them and not me. Not absolutely not. The jealousy of just having to look at self and see like you can have those things too. You just have to work on yourself.
and then part of it is you have to understand how their journey is going to end up, and yours is not the same.
It's
I've
not the same.
I've literally
And God, I wanted it to be the same, just of like, I don't, but I'm just accepting that what I want for my life is completely non existent almost.
and I guess the thing I'll say is this: I remember at in my 20s being really jealous of a lot of my friends because they were all doing better than me in
They
different ways.
started their careers, you were figuring it out. Absolutely.
And now I'd be like, I'm
Good
not
for
jealous
them.
at all. And some of them may be like, damn, Sam engaged and he right and and I'd
Yeah.
be like, don't look at what I got and be jealous, bro, because everything comes with an opportunity cost. And then once I realized that, I stopped being jealous because I don't know what you had to
Yeah.
sacrifice to get it.
Right. Yeah.
But
Absolutely. I definitely was with writer friends too in LA. It was just like, I'm not jealous of what they have. I'm jealous that they figured it out and I don't understand what's happening, but I'm going to look in self and work in self. Yeah.
you know, the big thing I just would say, because we started off talking about expectations and it still
Yeah.
applies. You got to have realistic expectations for what yourself. Like I had to tell myself,
Absolutely for yourself.
do I
Absolutely.
want to be this person? This
Yeah.
person's family don't look like this.
Yeah.
This person's peace of mind don't look like this. You
Yeah.
can't deal with getting attacked in the press all the time like they could. You don't really want what they want.
Y'all don't want that fame. Y'all do not want that
You
fame.
don't. You don't. Because people at school
Y'all don't want
disagree
it.
with you and you be ready to fight them or do
Y'all don't want
worse.
it. They don't want it.
They don't want it. And so,
They just want the attention, but that's another story. Attention.
and then that's a personal deficit too. But what do we know? But yo, it was just really good chopping it
It
up with
was
you. This is
good.
really
Yeah.
good. We
This
need
is
to
a
do
good
this again.
episode to catch up.
So, but with that being said, y'all, we like to get y'all thoughts, man. What do y'all think? Are men and women having too high expectations? Personally, do people have too high of an expectation for themselves and how
Mm-hmm.
success should look?
Yeah.
Y'all let us know.
Absolutely.
Peace.
See ya.